I've said this in the video before, but audio is a really important part of high quality video production. I've recently made a lot of upgrades to my audio system and I've been really happy with the results. So let's talk about it. First off, it's been a while and it's good to be back. I've been pretty crazy lately, from working on my video business and taking an online course to all the little things in between. I'm going to try to be more consistent with uploading videos and working on content in the future. I want to thank you all for clicking on and making purchases through my Amazon links. It might not seem like much, but it adds up quickly and it makes a huge difference in supporting the channel. For real. Thank you. Now let's get to the gear, and we'll start with what I used to have. For about a year and a half, this Zoom H4n recorder has been my primary audio recorder. It has two XLR inputs and one 3.5mm input, as well as a headphone jack and a tripod mount. I've done a ton of projects with it, and the quality is decent. I have noticed a fair amount of noise when using the LixPro CMG50, which is my shotgun mic of choice. The H4n is pretty portable. It fits in a camera bag and would make a pretty good backup recorder if you've already got another one. It runs on two AA batteries, which will run out fast if you're using phantom power, which is when you power your microphone using your device through your XLR cable. In summary, the H4n is probably the most bare bones recorder I could tolerate as a one-man band. My primary mic has been this shotgun mic, the LixPro CMG50. I've done an in-depth review of this mic and I like it a lot for the cost. I'd still use it for a spare mic or recording on-location sound. Like any shotgun mic, I have to get it as close to my source as possible for high-quality audio, which has proven to be a very immobile, clunky setup. I have to lug a mic stand around, and the quality is never as good as I'd like to be just because I can't get it right up to my source without having the microphone in the frame. It also feels a little bit clunky if you're working with someone who's never been on video before. They get a little intimidated when there's this thing above them the whole time. If you can make the mic as small and out of their face as possible, it really helps new talent when they're on camera. And that was basically my setup: the H4n, the CMG50, a mic stand, and an XLR cable. The real limiting factor here is actually the cable. It means I have to be close to the mic in order to monitor sound and make adjustments, so a wireless mic was on my shopping list. I did some research into wireless lavalier mics. If you're unfamiliar with these, they're very small omnidirectional mics that can get very close to your source. Usually they're clipped to shirts or hidden beneath clothing, like mine is now. To get a professional quality wireless lavalier system, you're probably looking at the neighborhood of $500 to $600. You can get something to tie you over for a few $100, but right now I can't risk dropping any audio when I'm on set, so I paid up. I had a few criteria I wanted to meet in my purchase. The first is that it has to operate in UHF, or ultra high frequency. Wireless lavaliers transmit audio over a low powered radio signal. UHF is the range of 300 MHz to 6 GHz. A lot of wireless devices operate within these frequencies. The FCC, which is the regulatory body for radio and broadcast in the United States, dictates that amateur radio can only operate below 608 MHz, as far as I can tell. It's not exactly easy to find out, and they keep changing this bit by bit as more public services need access to radio waves. The biggest problem that I have with consumer-grade lavalier sets is that some of them operate at the 2.4 GHz frequency. This means that anywhere there will be heavy Wi-Fi traffic, like almost any building in the modern age, you're more likely to hear interruptions in your signal from this traffic, since Wi-Fi also operates at the 2.4 GHz band. So any set that uses that frequency is a no for me. This means that entry-level wireless mics like the Rode Wireless Go, the Wireless Go 2, the Rode Link, and the Sennheiser XSWD are out of consideration in my mind. They have no XLR connection and lack a lot of features of professional grade equipment. If you've got a small budget and can spare the time of having to potentially redo takes because of this equipment, these can work. A YouTuber, Curtis Judd, who deals with audio equipment a lot, said it best: amateurs have a lot of time and a little bit of money, so they're willing to spend the extra time to fix their equipment when it messes up, whereas professionals will spend the extra money to avoid having to spend time on inconsistent equipment. I consider the Sony UWP D21 set and the Sennheiser G4 series to be in the professional tier, since they operate in frequencies that are fairly unoccupied and their frequency can be adjusted to avoid traffic. The frequency was my main concern, but there are other small features that can really up the quality of a lav set. One is the threaded input jacks for microphone and XLR connection. These make the cable connections much more stable and unlikely to come out and interrupt you in the middle of a shoot or if your talent is walking or moving around. These threaded connections are lacking on almost all the consumer grade models, which was a major minus for me. Another feature that I'd really like to have is a level monitor on both the receiver and the transmitter. This allows you to check your levels, obviously, but it also helps narrowing down troubleshooting much faster. If you're not getting any sound from your equipment, you can check to see if you're getting levels on your transmitter and your receiver respectively. It looks way more professional when you're on set and can work out a problem quickly. The difference between the Sennheiser G4 and the Sony UWP D21 set is probably pretty small. The main reason I went for the Sony kit is that I've used it before when making short films in film school, and I know that it works really well. I can't find any official documentation that says this, but I believe the receiver in the D21 set can support receiving signals from 2 transmitters, which would be a huge plus for something like an interview. Again, I can't confirm this, so take this with a grain of salt. I feel like I remember doing it in film school though. I got my set of Sony mics from Autorama, which is a pretty reputable dealer of used electronics, especially film and audio equipment. My set had minor superficial scuffs, but nothing that affects the device's operation. The one thing I might upgrade in the future is changing out the actual lav microphone, since it's a bit chewed up. I would also add another transmitter if my set supports that. Like I said earlier, you'll probably need a lot of rechargeable AA batteries to make your audio system complete. While it might sound like a pain, this will actually be an asset and is a feature of these sets. A lot of the consumer grade lavalier mics have built-in batteries, which are great until they aren't. When they run out, that means you won't have a mic unless you've got a spare system or you can wait for your mic to recharge. With more expensive gear, they often offer batteries that can switch out right away to get your system back up and running, usually through AA batteries. I recommend Eneloop or Eneloop Pros by Panasonic. They're a decent price and provide good amperage for their size. I think we've kind of exhaustively covered the lav mics. There was a lot to learn here, but it's important to understand what you're looking for in a set before you actually buy it. Next on my list was to upgrade to an audio recorder with more inputs and more controls. I was looking at the Sound Devices MixPre 3 and the Tascam DR70D. These are both a manageable size and would enable me to use more inputs and make audio level adjustments on the fly. These were really the only features I was looking at. I wanted battery power, phantom power support, a clearly legible LCD screen, and a way to mount a camera to the recorder itself. These are fairly standard features nowadays, and the final decision was driven mainly by budget. The Tascam DR70D is less than a third of the MixPre's price, and the MixPre's additional features couldn't justify that price point in my mind. So the DR70D makes the most sense for my checklist and my budget. If you're looking to save an additional $100, you could go for the Tascam DR60D. I've used it before, and it works similar to the DR70D with 2 less XLR inputs. Finally, I wanted a way to transport all this gear safely and to have it on me while I'm on set. I have to give credit where it's due and thank Caleb from the DSLR Video Shooter channel for putting me onto Orca sound bags. These bags are built specifically for audio recordists or mixers on film sets. These people work managing live audio recording. They've got to have their whole kit in their bag. While this bag wouldn't necessarily fit a whole kit, for my purposes, it's plenty. And for anyone who has just one recorder they need to manage themselves while on set, it'd work perfectly as well. The bags have an aluminum frame, which means they are insanely rigid while still remaining lightweight. The bag is built to allow access from all 6 sides, which is super handy. You can lock your recorder in place with these Velcro straps here. And also on the interior are some elastic straps for securing lav packs. There are some kind of close clearances like the battery and SD compartment, which are a little tricky to access. And the side panels also have to open all the way in order for the top XLR ports to be accessible, and the power switch is a bit tricky to flip as well. There are 2 roomy pouches on either side of the bag for storing accessories or batteries. And included with the bag is a TVP plastic cover for the bag so you can see it while you're recording, as well as a shoulder strap with a nice rubberized texture. You can kind of see it here. I'm not really sure how the strap is supposed to attach to the bag, but these loops seem to be where it's intended to go. It doesn't fit around both loops at the same time, so I just kind of threw it on one side and hope for the best. Another useful feature is these two Velcro straps you can use for strapping a boom pole to. I got this bag for about $150 and it's $200 new. It's an expensive purse to be sure, but it's really useful. And that's pretty much it for my audio bag. A recorder, a lav set, and a shotgun mic are basically all I need for my audio solution. Since I'm a one-man band, I need it close to me and I need it to be portable. In total, the whole setup is about $1,000. And it sounds like a lot, and it is a lot. However, these upgrades gave me way more versatility in my kit, and what I can offer to potential clients has expanded a lot thanks to this kit. Now I'm way more confident in my audio system, and I've got a whole lot of room for expansion in the future. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you thought of the video and consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed it. If you'd like to support the channel, you can do so by clicking the links in the description. If you buy that product or any other product you may need through that link, I get a small commission on the purchase, which doesn't cost you anything additional and helps support the channel. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.